Hello. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really sorry that this can't be live. I wish I could call in person. I'm in Miami right now, so the time difference is pretty rough, and I just couldn't swing it. But I really appreciate your flexibility and coming through, and really shout out to Amy and Taki for just helping getting all this set up. Um, and yeah, I'll leave my contact information, but definitely feel free to reach out anytime um, if you have any more questions. So before I talk about MoshiCam, I just wanted to give a quick introduction on myself and my background and sort of how things led to MoshiCam. So I'm proud. I'm a proud Korean. I was born in Hawaii, but both my parents are Korean, and I actually spent some time at some elementary school in Korea. I went to SIS, Seoul International School, for a couple years, and my dad's still there, so he's a hagwon 수학 선생, and my broader family is just they're all involved in education in Korea, and I'm gonna be there in January. So I think it's like January. I forget the exact. I think it's like 17 through 22, something like that. So I'll be there like in January. So if you want to hang out, maybe we can do a meetup or something. Would love to hang. Um, but yeah, so prior to MoshiCam, I was at Coinbase, and I worked on a number of teams there. I worked on Wallet, Coinbase Pro, advanced trading. Worked on the debit card, the institutional platform, which is called Prime, and so on. So I kind of hopped around a little bit, and in 2021, when things were getting really frothy on the NFT side of things, and one of my friends came to me. He worked at Apple at the time, and he had the side project, and basically you could view NFTs. You could view your NFTs in a really beautiful way, and no other product like it existed. It was called Gallery, and I mean I thought it was interesting. I was really into NFTs, so I helped build it. We made it more scalable, and all of a sudden we had a bunch of traction. We had users, and so this is 2021. So I was still an employee at Coinbase, and I didn't want to leave because I really loved my team. I really loved the role that I had there. But Gallery just kind of it just kept getting more and more usage, and all of a sudden, like, investors were approaching us, and they were trying to give us money to really take the product to market. And and I was just like, I just drew the line, and I was like, no, like, I can't leave. It's too risky. I was pursuing my career at Coinbase, and I was only there for about 2 years. And I had a wife, dog, and we had all these plans, and I was like, this is too risky. But I don't know, like just after a while, like the pull was so strong, right? The opportunity just felt too big to ignore, and my heart was telling me that I have to do this. So I just had to ape, and I just went all in, and I now I'm like I'm really happy I did that in hindsight. So I guess that would be like my first you know life lesson that I went through, is that if something is really pulling at you, even if you have something that you like, or something that you're comfortable with currently, just go for it. Just go for it. And so we started Gallery, and the gallery was a really beautiful product, and it's actually still running. And the website's called gallery.so, and we have a mobile app, and we have people who use it every day. But ultimately, we realized, like, the ceiling for just beautiful art NFTs, right? That whole market was very niche. It was like a niche of a niche of a niche, and it just wasn't quite high enough. And I do think I am very bullish on it long term, but where we are right now, it was just pretty tough. And so earlier this year, we decided we wanted to try something different. And then so we were thinking, we are brainstorming, and we are like, okay, we have this incredible team. We have all this amazing infrastructure that we've built around NFTs. How can we sort of reorient the things that we've already built and point that in a compelling direction? And so This was around June of this year, and when that's sort of like on-chain summer was happening, and base the our favorite L2 was gaining a lot of traction, and it was just getting easier and cheaper and more accessible to transact on chain, and also Coinbase was about to launch something called Smart Wallet, and so we decided like and I just got obsessed with that experience, and so we decided that we wanted to be the easiest place, just the easiest app to create an NFT and put it on chain. And specifically, the form factor we used was the Polaroid. But yeah, so that's kind of the story so far, and then now I'm gonna sort of transition into our learnings from MoshiCam. Alrighty, so here I'm just gonna go through the slides and shout out to my co-founder Kaido who made all these slides and saved me a bunch of work. But I think it'll just be more natural for me to just flip through like this instead of like the full screen. So hopefully you don't mind. Um, but yeah, so MoshiCam is it is a mobile app. It's a mobile app that converts your photos into Polaroids and puts them on chain. And we coined this term, turn your moments into memories. We might change this, but that's how we started off. So we were like, is can we make a really, really, really easy way for you to take any photo and put it on chain through a mobile experience. And I think like, a few months ago, like it was hard, right? Like you kind of had to uh, go on desktop. You had to like find the right website. You have to connect your wallet. You have to upload a photo, and then you have to like mint it, and then sort of understand how all these things mean. And we wanted to abstract all of that and just make it really easy, really cheap, really and just like really self-explanatory, right? And feel like an actual consumer grade experience. And so that was our goal. And it was also kind of like a question, right? It was like, will people want to do this? Will people actually want to? Because like if you think about on chain, it's like, pictures of your face, and like, do you actually want to put that on a blockchain? And so we kind of went into it with a lot of questions that we wanted to answer. So it was like hypotheses that we wanted to answer. Um, and we challenged ourselves to again just kind of like make the experience as smooth as possible. Um, so that in a nutshell is what MoshiCam is, and we've sort of positioned it as this fun new way to share your memories with friends, and we wanted to make it real memories. So instead of like heavily edited, because if you think about a Polaroid, right, like what is a Polaroid? I'm trying to see if I have some examples. So I have like some examples on my desk. Um, I have like these are just like pictures of my wife. I have a little picture of like a coffee cup just to kind of like give me energy, and they're not like very like heavily positioned or very calculated. Like it's just kind of you just do it casually, and we wanted to sort of bring that essence back into the digital world because if you use Instagram or if you look if you're used to using sort of traditional social media, it's everything is very processed, right? Um, so cool. This is not me. I know it might look like me, but this is my co-founder Kaido and his wife. And at their wedding, we had these Polaroid cameras, and it was just a massive hit, right? People were really excited to do this, and it was this is a little bit blurry, but these are the this is the co-founders, and it was just a huge hit. People really enjoyed doing it, and so we're like maybe we can sort of capture that energy and bring it on chain. And so yeah, so this is what we launched with, and these are some example sort of submissions, and you can see there is a great variety of not only content, but also these frames, right? The different Polaroid frames. And so the idea is you take a photo and you combine it with a unique Polaroid frame. And then there are these optional stickers that you can add, and you can kind of decorate your photo like this. And as you can see, we got a lot of really cool submissions. I think we've had hundreds of artists submit at this point. And what's awesome is when these Polaroids get minted. So these things are going on chain, And when these photos get collected, part of that revenue gets split into you, the person who took the photo, right? Because like you're the creator, but you also help reward the artist of this Polaroid frame and the artist of this sticker. So whoever created the sticker, sort of everyone kind of gets paid out, and everything's on chain um, and automatic, and so it's almost this kind of like composable creative process that is only enabled through a really really cheap experience on a layer 2, right? So yeah, that's what we kind of aim to make possible, and then obviously you could earn, right? So as people collect your photos, um, you could and like why would someone want to collect your photo? Maybe they want to save a copy for themselves because NFTs kind of unlock this idea of ownership, right? Um, then you get to enjoy these rewards and then use that to sort of collect more mochis, or use it on whatever you want, and it's all sort of like instant and it's all permissionless, and we don't have to sort of like go through like the banking system to kind of enjoy like the payouts, right? And so yeah, I mean, I think these numbers are actually a lot higher now. I should have updated this, but yeah, we've had a lot of mochis created, and almost 200,000 mochis collected, and this was since we launched in July of this year. So we're only a few months in, but have had um, have enjoyed this success so far. And just to show you how the actual sign-in flow works, so you're gonna this is what you would see. So you first set up a smart wallet, and that shows this little pop-up in keys.coinbase.com, and this is a new product from Coinbase that's built on top of Base, and it's called the Coinbase Smart Wallet. And this allows you to very easily create a wallet and link it to your passkey. And passkey is like either your fingerprint or Face ID or your PIN, or however you might sort of secure your device. That is the way that you control your wallet, instead of like the very traditional like seed phrase and all that. It's a lot more convenient, and you don't have to download another app, right? So like, let's say you want to use this and you want to log in with your wallet, you don't have to download MetaMask, you don't have to download Rainbow or Coinbase Wallet or have a separate app where you're kind of like going back and forth. Everything is self-contained within this flow, thanks to the smart wallet experience. And so, what are some benefits of it? Like, why should we use Smart Wallet? A really, really big one was the gas-free transactions. So let's say you signed up, right, and you created a photo like this, and then you made some money, and then you want to actually claim it, right? Traditionally, if you just by like trying to trigger an on-chain transaction, you actually have to deposit ETH into your wallet, right? So it's like you have to have enough ETH to like confirm the transaction and trigger the transaction. And if you don't have any ETH and you just want to like, and but you still have kind of like money that you can claim, you can't claim it unless you deposit ETH into the wallet so that you have enough for gas, right? And that's really annoying. So Smart Wallet allows for gas free transactions. So it's actually gas sponsored, um, sponsored, which means that the app or some third party will pay for the gas that you need, right, to create a transaction. And so you get a quote unquote free experience. And so as a brand new user who's never used sort of on-chain products before, you don't have to know what ETH is. You don't have to like figure out what your deposit address is and actually send an ETH to claim your rewards for the first time. So that's kind of the magical experience that smart wallets unlock. And we launched to Farcaster. I'm sure a lot of you are already on this platform, but if you're not, you should totally check it out. It's really awesome, and there's an awesome Korean community on Farcaster. Um, and that was an awesome success. So that was really key to our go to market, in that uh, it's hard for any company, right, to bootstrap a social network from the ground up. So if you decide that you're going to build this photo sharing product called MoshiCam, and you want a bunch of people to use it with their friends, there's a 0 to 1 hurdle that's really, really hard to get over. And to bootstrap that initial set of users is very, very difficult. And Farcaster is a totally permissionless social network that anyone can plug into. So basically, anyone can build apps on top of Farcaster. And so that's what we did. So when you sign up, you could sign in with your Farcaster user, and then basically all of a sudden, like all of your friends would be in the app already. So you would see other people that you already know through Farcaster on MoshiCam. Um, and then you could also easily share your photos onto the Farcaster, sort of like the main client, as frames where you can get more reach, and then people can make your photos, and so that they were really key to our go to market. And obviously the frames and stickers. So having worked on the gallery NFT product in the past, we had this really nice network of artists and sort of community members that we had formed relationships with, and so they helped sort of design the initial set of the Polaroid borders here that you see here. Um, and so yeah, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Now looking ahead, what is our plan? So, so we are actually, man, I don't want to say the word pivot because that's a very strong, that's a loaded term. But we are again sort of like reorienting the app a little bit to be even more normie friendly, right? We want to be really, really friendly to normies, and right now we still think that there's still this a little bit of a gap, right? So let's say you've never seen crypto before, and then you click continue here. This is still like a little bit a lot to understand because you download this Polaroid app because your friend told you, there's this fun thing where you can make these photos. Um, and all of a sudden, it's like, why is Coinbase in the picture? Why is there a wallet, right? And why are these transactions like what is this? And you could still see some confusion when the user's signing up, and then later when you're like collecting photos in the app, you're still kind of like signing transactions, right? And so there's still like some crypto native terminology that's a little bit hard to understand. And ultimately, we want to bring this to millions of users, right? We want anyone to be able to use this. And there's still some jargon that we have to strip out. And so we are just making it really, 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 really simple, really basic, and even more normie friendly than where we are today. And so that's kind of a long ways to go, but that's what we've been laser focused on. And the other thing is, with Farcaster again, like Farcaster has been incredible, and we're not going anywhere. Like we're still really excited to continue to build in the Farcaster ecosystem. But ultimately, what we realized was it was sort of existential for us to tie ourselves to the potential success of Farcaster, right? So because we are an app that was built on top of Farcaster, we kind of became dependent on the growth trajectory of the Farcaster ecosystem. And it was really hard to kind of like sort of decouple and like do our own thing. And, I mean, again, I love Farcaster. Like, um, I actually worked with some of the employees there. They're also sort of like ex Coinbase people, and we're really close. And I am personally very bullish on the platform, and it's gonna see massive success. The question is, when is that gonna happen, and is it wise for us to just totally marry ourselves there? If maybe the timeline isn't because right now we kind of just want to take matters into our own hands and go as hard as possible and get as many users as possible, right? And so as a result, we are we're again we're kind of rethinking things a little bit, and we're thinking really hard about how do we make this useful. So just to go over like exactly what we're thinking about, the really important thing is we have to be App Store compliant. And so everything that I showed you just now, they were from the a PWA experience, and a PWA stands for a progressive web app, right? So I'm just gonna write PWA, and we're trying to go from the PWA to the App Store. And PWA is actually a mini website that you can download into your phone that isn't through the App Store or the Google Play Store. It's a separate thing, and that allows you to sort of get around a lot of the rules that the App Store has. But the installation process of PWA is higher friction, and as a result, it's harder for us to sort of hit mass market, right? With that experience, and so we have to be in the App Store, and as a result, we have to be compliant with App Store rules. And App Stores, obviously, they don't love crypto, right? So if we say, hey, we're a crypto lab, we can like earn and transact in Ethereum and all that, we it's hard to get an approval at that point, and so that at this point we have to prioritize this. It sucks, but we do have to prioritize it if we want to reach the next level, right? Um, a lot of this is also education. So, again, sort of the younger generation, I think they're a little bit more open-minded to crypto than, the boomers, but there's still a gap. There's still a gap, and I think there's still a lot of sort of like misconceptions, misunderstanding on the pros and cons of crypto, and how it can be used, right? It's not just money, um, and it's not a scam. It's not a Ponzi. I mean, sometimes there is, right? But that's not the whole picture. And education is really important. And so we were actually at UCLA, and we did a presentation on MoshiCam recently. Had the kids try out the app and give us feedback, and it was a hit, right? They loved it. It was awesome. But they also had a lot of questions about the crypto side of things. Like it's like why do we have to use crypto for an experience like this? And so education is something that we're putting a lot of thought into, and um, is just going to be really valuable. Already talked about this, but again, just like remove friction as much as possible, make it as easy as possible to use, and just be useful. So like, we don't want to just be something that is kind of interesting to try, at some point. We actually want to be useful so that you continue to come back, and see like a use case, to use the tools. And so sort of a lot of stuff to build out there, and then we obviously just wanna have fun. So yeah, this is just a funny meme that my co-founder made, but this is how we are doing it. So this is actually really important because base like we were actually thinking about this. Could we have made this app, right? Could we have made MoshiCam a year ago, right? Or 2 years ago? And the answer is no way. There's no way we could have done it because the technology wasn't available. So if we wanted an app where it was on a mobile device, you could create NFT, you could convert photos into NFTs. That literally just wasn't possible, right? You would maybe have to use an ETH L1, and on L1 it's like way too expensive. And then without Smart Wallet, you wouldn't have gasless transactions, and so people would have to deposit money, Ethereum, into their wallet to actually get started and use it. Um, and you couldn't do batched transactions. So there's a lot of stuff in our app where we actually batch multiple transactions together, so that it feels a lot more seamless to the user, which is enabled by Smart Wallet. And we wouldn't have been able to do all those things. And so Base has really been really critical in basically scaling, scaling down the cost and making it a lot easier, to transact. And that has made apps like ours even be possible. And we're really excited to just see like what else is possible, right? Like what else are people going to build on top of this technology as it gets better and continues to improve, week over week. So this is our grand plan. Um, Cool. And I'm really excited to announce that we are now in the App Store and the Play Store. So we're actually we have a mobile app on iOS and on Android, and they're both available. You can go to moshi.cam and you'll see the download buttons. So definitely try it out, and please send us feedback. Always looking forward to it. And every day we're fixing bugs, and so please again reach out if you have any feedback and run into anything. Um, cool. And yeah, here's how you can reach out. So on Farcaster, I'm at Robin. I'm also on Twitter. I'm sorry about this handle. This is like not cool, but it was kind of started off as a joke and kind of stuck around. This is actually two underscores. It's two underscores, which is pretty toxic, but that's my handle, and then I'll also add my email. So email is Robin at Yahoo. That's my email. Reach out anytime. Thank you again for having me. Really big shout out to Amy and Taki and the whole base community and everyone, all of you out there in Seoul. I'll be there in January, so maybe we can do another kind of mini meetup then. But this is awesome. Thank you so much for having me. 감사합니다.